Alright everyone, so I just finished filming the first part of this two-part video of how to build a dart frog vivarium. So I outlined all of the materials that we need in order to build the entire enclosure. Now we're going to go straight into actually building it. I need both hands, so I kind of put my cell phone on my utility cart, so I'm hoping it doesn't fall while I'm doing this. So, alright, so we've already got the background and the the false bottom in place when I start to build on top of it. Usually the silicone that the background needs will require a 24-hour period to cure, and this particular substrate, or I mean false bottom, actually requires the same because all of the little pieces in the bottom are siliconed to the bottom. Now once you have your false bottom in place, whichever one you may choose, they all do the same function. Excuse me, Bolt, I'm busy. Someone wants attention. Bolt. Alright, so once we have the false bottom in the background, we're going to go straight into the screen. Now the screen is going to be the divider between your dirt, essentially, the ABG mix, and the false bottom. You don't want any of the ABG mix to get into the false bottom because the only purpose for the false bottom is to hold water. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my bags of ABG mix. I'm not really sure how many bags I'll need for this, so I grabbed quite a few. I know that in 18 by 18 by 24s I'll usually just use 2. This is a 24 wide by 18 by 24 tall, so this is a pretty big one. Now I know that my screen isn't perfect, it's not perfectly cut to size, but I'm not really a perfectionist. It kind of does the job for me. Excuse me, Bolt. No, wait. Alright, so this is my ABG mix. I don't know, there we go. Can we see? Kind of a little bit. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dump her in. Some people like to sanitize this as well, but I quite frankly never have and never really needed to. Alright, so there's 1, and here is 2. Now my background isn't quite done yet, but I definitely want to get this substrate down before I start piling sphagnum in the back. Alright, so once it's down, I'm going to go ahead and push it down and around. Alright, so this is 2 bags. I definitely think I could use a third. You're going to have to plant plants in here. So if they don't have enough dirt to take, then, you know, you're not going to have that easy of a time growing plants. Alright, so here we are. Look at this like little stick. Alright, so this looks really nice. This looks really nice. This is going to be awesome. Alright, so that was 3 bags, and let's see how they're about 1 inch deep. I can definitely stand to put a little more, so I'm just going to stick this little half bag. Bam, and that's why I stockpile ABG mix. 3.5 bags. Now they usually average at about $5 to $7 per bag, which is really good considering all this stuff. I know it has like cypress mulch, I think, charcoal. Actually, don't quote me on that. I have no idea. I just know that this stuff is awesome. A quick Google search, though, will definitely tell you what's all in it if you are interested to know. Alright, so this next step, I'm actually going to do 2 steps in 1. Now, this is my sphagnum moss. I already soaked it, so it's like super big right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stick this on the floor. And, oof. Alright, so I'm gonna just put a bunch here. There we go. I'm gonna put a bunch, and then I'm gonna get it a little wet. It's already wet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and this isn't the best practice, you guys. But all right, here we go. It's too late now because I'm recording. All right, so you're going to take this sphagnum and you are going to kind of just shove it in all of the holes. Now this is how you do this mosaic style of building. So I actually only need one hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this so that I can go in real deep with you guys. All right, now this is gonna take me a little minute. I honestly don't know how to edit videos, so you guys are just gonna have to like bear with me because cinematography is not my forte. I'm just kind of doing this to help out those that always ask me for videos and stuff. So here we are. All right, so you pretty much want to like push it in, push as much as you can fit anywhere where it'll take. So any hole you're gonna wanna fill it in a lot. And I kind of stick my fingers in between and behind all of this cork because sometimes there's holes that you can't see. Sometimes, you know, there's honestly all kinds of stuff going on here. All right, I'm gonna be careful here. The edges generally don't have silicone because they're bowed, which means dart frogs could get in it. So that's actually why I really like, fruit fly. That's why I really like to use, whoa, all right, that's super dry. I need to wet this a little more, just a little more. Normally you would want your sphagnum moss to just be like super wet in your container. I honestly wasn't anticipating it to need more than a gallon of water. So, just is what it is. But there's no going back now. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep shoving her in. You're just gonna fill in all of the gaps. Just all of the gaps. What's nice is that when sphagnum moss is compressed, it's wet when it's compressed. So if it dries, when it dries, it expands. So it fills in a lot nicer. Look at these nice little, so you can kind of see it coming together. I'm gonna kind of push a bunch in here. Now before I used this cork in the background, I did bake it. I baked it at 250 for like 3 hours. And I do that to all of my wood, all of my cork. It doesn't burn, you know, definitely want to keep an eye on it. But it won't burn, and it kills, or it should kill theoretically, all of the pests that may be living inside it. Alright, so I'm not terribly worried about that stuff. Alright, so here I got a ton more, so I'm just gonna dump another gallon of water into this. I know I'm gonna need to use more for a bunch of stuff, so might as well. Alright, so that's 2 gallons of water. I use purified water. It's kind of like RO. So any purified RO water is excellent for this purpose. Alright, so I think I might have made the gaps a little too big, but they are workable, and I'm just gonna continue to shove moss. Believe it or not, it stays. It stays. I actually have an enclosure that I built years ago, and it has this background, and that baby stayed intact so well. So well. Now I have azurias coming in here. They're Dendrobates tinctorius. So they're not going to be like little tiny frogs that are going to get all up in this stuff. So I'm really just trying to fill all the gaps on. I'm so sorry about the video, guys. It's going to get better soon. I promise. You can definitely fast forward until you see me finish this part. Alright, I'm going to kind of leave that little ledge. There's a little ledge up here. I'm going to kind of leave it. And so now at this point I go around and I feel all of the edges and just continue to fill it in. I'm just going to stick some more up here. Alright, there we go. right. Alright, so there's some more. Alright, totally did not plan for this to take forever, but here we are. Keep sticking it under there. Frogs are notorious for going like under, especially like under backgrounds. Kind of a pain in the butt. Now this sphagnum is actually really nice too, because you're able to grow like vines and plants. Some people grow orchids, whatever will grow in this kind of tropical environment, then you can try and grow. Alright, so this is pretty good. Now the next layer, here I'm going to place this here again. Alright, so we can kind of see, there we go, we can kind of see how all of this is tucked in. See, I'm going to tuck a little more in here. Now that, I can always go back, I mean, kind of, not really a huge deal. Alright, so next I'm going to cover this entire ground in sphagnum. This is yet another method to maintain the humidity up in the enclosures. It doesn't have to be a huge level. This is fine. I actually may have even put more than I normally do, but look at how nice that looks. So now we have that whole background filled in. I'll be able to put a couple vines in the back, and now, all right, so now we have the substrate practically done. Now I'm going to go ahead and place my wood. Now this wood, I kind of had it like this. This is always fun. Always like figuring out how to put the wood. I probably sat here for half an hour earlier, just kind of trying to figure out how to make the most surface area, because I really want them to be able to like hang out on this as if it was a different layer. Now that's what the wood is for, essentially. You see how I just filled in all of this space. Now they're gonna have all of this up here to like hang out on, but also here and below they have little places. I'm probably gonna put a coconut hut in there, and I'm gonna stick this, let's see, how am I gonna stick this, kind of like that, I think I'm gonna do. They like tall spots, so they really enjoy being able, not tall, they're not arboreal, they're actually terrestrial, but as terrestrial frogs, usually the alphas definitely enjoy going up kind of higher, but not too high. Like if I put something up here, they probably wouldn't go there, but this is going to be a really nice level because I'll be able to put like a plant back there, have it grow up in this back circle, and I'll do the same here and back there, kind of the places where the light still shines, but it gives them plenty of space. And I have this kind of like nifty little piece that I'm not sure how to place, if I want to kind of do this thing. I guess I'll put it like that and just kind of alright, well, damn. Okay, so now we have all of the wood, and we are ready for business. So I'm going to take this moss back here, since I'm essentially done with it. And I'm going to bring my plants all forward. Alright. I'm going to grab the phone real quick, just so that I can show you guys where we're at, how it's looking. Oh my gosh, I totally need bigger something or other. Okay, here we go. Okay, so look at that. All right, so this is coming together. So this is the wood that I put to give them a little, they really like being on top of that. Now you see it's like literally on the ground, but they like the fact that it's a little bit above ground. And now up here, we're probably gonna have our alphas going up there, kind of marking their territory. This is nice. I'm not sure if they're gonna use this. If they don't, I can move it. It's not, nothing is permanent, so that's real nice. And then this is kind of cool. It's like a little hollow slice. So I'm just going to kind of put it there. They'll go on top, and maybe I'll put a plant inside. I'm not really sure. Vivariums are kind of always like a work in progress. So So nothing is set in stone. You can kind of put a vivarium together, and if after a while you see that frogs aren't really into whatever you did, or if they hang out more in one place than another, they pretty much give you all kinds of tells for you to kind of like figure out what you're doing and what you want to do, and etc., etc. All right, there we go. So now the sphagnum is wet, which is awesome, because all of these plants that I'm putting in here are definitely going to benefit from that. All right, I'm going to see if I can save this. There we go. All right, put that through. That is nice. Okay, I have another one. So I think I'm going to put this one back here and just kind of let it grow amongst the back. I'm going to put the vine, or the, what's it called? The roots kind of against the floor. All right, so we got that. So now I have these three little plants. I definitely think I'm going to put one in there. That's going to be so cute. I'll stick this one here. This is a nice plant that had grown. All right, I like to stick it inside the ABG mix and then surround it by moss. I'm probably gonna do this one a little backwards. Let's see, stick it all the way in the ABG mix, and then I'll put the leaves through the little cork. Oh, this is gonna look so cute. Yay. All right. I hope you grow, little guy. All right, and then I got one more. This is kind of the same thing. Maybe I'll just stick it right back here. There we go. This is kind of a guessing game. I'm not really a plant person. It's really not my forte, but you know, that's okay. I kind of just learned with trial and error. There we go. Can you guys see okay? Not that you can talk to me or anything, but you hear the Vietnamese mossy frogs going above us? Okay, so now I've got some fun plants. These are kind of vines. This is a really nice one. I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of put this stuff here and hope that it takes off or that they don't kill it. I don't know. We will find out soon enough how all of this stuff fares. This is a little vine. There we go. I'm kind of sticking it in the sphagnum. This is a really nice vine that I like for the base of woods like this. So I'm kind of going to put both of these here and hope that something good happens there. Not all of these will survive, but we are going to hope for the best. Let's see, I'm going to stick this one here. Now you notice that I didn't put the leaf litter yet. That is totally on purpose. All right, I'm going to put this kind of in the back here where there's still light, just to give the back a little something to grow. Let's see, we got this. I like to put vines over these little formations. Now you see how you couldn't even see most of the vines or most of the wood in my other enclosures? It's probably because I do this. I really love putting vines at the base of wood and letting it kind of just go up and take over. A lot of these were given to me by friends, so I actually don't know the names of any of them, but if you guys have any plant friends, maybe like take a screenshot and then you guys can manage some names. I'm sorry, I wish I could be more helpful in that regard. Alright, so I'm kind of running out of place. I kind of put a bunch of stuff down. Let's see, maybe I can just stick this here and let that kind of hang out by that wood there. And I got one more. I'm just going to kind of throw this in the back here. There we go. It may take, it may not take. Either way, I'm okay with it. Alright. So I don't have any bromeliads yet. Let's see what bromeliads I can give them. They're big frogs, so I definitely want kind of a big one. This is a nice one. I can kind of stick that there. There we go. Alright, so I kind of stuck it in the background. That was super helpful. Alright, this is another one. Now, bromeliads, I really like to use zip ties to tie them onto wood. Actually, I got zip ties right here, and I'm going to do that right now. All right, so I just use like a regular zip tie. Oh, I just dumped water all over the place. All right, and then, so I kind of just, let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to zoom in, or not zoom in, but get a little bit closer. And I kind of put it in the back, and I'll put the zip tie through it. And that's kind of what I mean when I zip tie bromeliads to wood. I literally zip tie bromeliads to wood. Alright, so that came off, but I'm just gonna slip it in again. There we go. Alright, now we're talking. And there we go. We got a bromeliad zip tied to the wood. That is so awesome. I just take some scissors. What's nice is that this is like super not permanent. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but I really like for things to be temporary, if you will, because oh my god, these scissors are terrible. I really like to be able to go in later and change things and maybe add or remove or whatever. I'm always learning new things, so it definitely helps me when I'm not like stuck. Now backgrounds, I'm kind of stuck with them, but it's definitely okay because I only use them for. All right, so this is pretty much it right here. I'm gonna back up and I'm gonna bring the leaf litter. That is our last. Now you can see this has been a pretty quick thing. It wasn't too crazy of a build. I kind of like simpler builds like this. These are definitely my jam. So once I do all of the planting, that's when I go ahead and, oops, this isn't working out. There we go. So that's when I go ahead and I just fill in with leaf litter. Now they're gonna have a lot of space back here, which is awesome. All right, I just kind of like dump it in and then move it around, make sure the plants that I want to survive are kind of back there and can stick out. All right, this is coming together. Sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll grab some water and I'll dump water at the roots of all the plants that I just planted. But that's usually if I have like drier sphagnum. Having that moist sphagnum just humidifies them immediately. And because I have a Mist King system set up, then that just immediately, it's gonna go off in a couple minutes. So that'll be really awesome. All right, here we go. This is the rest of it. So you can see it does cover up some of the plants, but I kind of hope that the important parts are not covered. Now leaf litter is super duper important. I know that usually this is the part where beginners don't get the memo, and me included. I did not use leaf litter for a while in the beginning when I was starting, until I realized just how important it was for the actual frogs and their well-being. Not only does leaf litter provide extra hiding places, which I know is kind of hard to imagine, and it's kind of hard to imagine that you want them to have more hiding places, but the more hiding places that frogs have, the bolder they are. So they'll actually be more confident when they have a ton of places to come out than if they were kind of just like stuck in a place that was too flat and didn't have enough places to hide. When they don't have enough places to hide, then they hide more. So, all right, so this is pretty much the completed enclosure. Now it is gonna grow in. A lot of people like to wait for their plants to grow in. I'm not really that patient. It's really not a huge deal. I am going to add some isopods and some springtails to this just by dumping a little bit. That kind of makes it a bioactive enclosure. I'm going to put some water into this, and then I'm going to turn on the mister so that it mists, leaves it nice and wet, And I'm going to add some coconut huts. I have to clean them though, they're full of spiders right now. I'm probably going to actually add 2 of them. I see 2 nice little places. So I'm going to add a picture of that